top of that as well, we'll head over to Black Forest, get into some bumpy stuff. You guys all ridden under the chairlift at Black Forest?
Love, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good spot for it. So I know Rosie, who used to evaluate here, but Laura Price is one of the level 2 evaluators. They love using that terrain for the level 2, so it's quite good to get yourself acquainted to it. But I figured I'd just go for a quick little mock lesson of how I do introduction to off-piste. So we'll do that real quick. You guys can ask any questions and everything else. You guys want to give me a skill, but I relate the lesson to, and I will fair enough. Still a little time to get about right. Okay, sweet. So we want to get riding in the off-piste now, right? Pretty comfortable turning on the piste and riding on the grim terrain. Most of the fun on the snowboard, in my opinion, is out in the uncharted areas and the bumpy stuff. So before we go into the bumpy stuff, we just kind of want to get familiar with the movements we need to be able to ride in the bumps. And those movements are pretty much movements we already make. We're just going to allow feet to move independent of one another rather than together. But just to wake up our knees, wake up our body, and just get moving and some blood pumping. Just do some traverses, kind of a thing we've all thought about in the past. Just moving up and down, relaxing those ankles and knees, getting low, rising up high again. But as we do this, try and find a happy middle ground. Try and find when you're not too low, you're not too high, just kind of somewhere in the middle where you feel like you're able to, we should move out of here. Try and find a happy middle ground where you feel like you could extend out to reach for grip, and you can also retract your legs up to absorb some bumps as well. So let's just get moving a little bit, and we're going to head towards the wrong route. We can go down to the next turn off and head around that way. Just follow me, stop where I stop, be careful of traffic. Nice. Forget the green runs are awesome, guys. That's looking really good. We've got a good range of movement, and we're kind of keeping our chest nice and high, not kind of bending over and taking our weight outside of the snowboard. So it's just an idea now of taking this and using it in the environment where it's most useful. Even here we got some nice little bumps and everything, and it's exactly the same movement, but rather than bringing our body closer to the ground, we're going to make the same movement and just allow the board to come up closer to our body as we go over a bump. That kind of makes sense? Kind of like the idea of got some kind of bumps, right? And it's a case of trying to time the movement and coordinate it so the front foot's kind of lifting up and it feels almost weightless, like there's no resistance against it. And then as we push down the backside, that back foot kind of comes up. So it's still that movement of getting low in the legs, but rather than having both legs work at the same time, it's just allowing them to do opposite movements on their own. So we're just going to ride through this little bit of chop here. And we're just going to think about having the upper body, the head especially, completely motionless. We don't want to see too much bobbing around. We just want to keep it nice and steady, and that way the legs are working a bit like a suspension in the car. As it goes over that rough terrain, The suspension's doing all the work, and the passengers inside are getting a nice smooth ride. And we're just going to try and find that feeling with our legs. Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's just give it a little go. Some small bumps here. We'll just traverse side to side. We're just going to absorb those bumps as we go across. Watch my head. See if you can see it moving. And if you don't see it moving, look down at my legs and see if you can see that doing most of the work. Awesome. So that's looking pretty comfortable for everyone on this pretty easy terrain, right? Let's take this idea to somewhere that's a little bit more challenging and the bumps are going to get a little bit more ferocious. So on the way down, see if you can find any lumps or bumps on the side of the piece to try and match this movement too. Just as we traverse our way over to Kangaroo. Keep an eye out for me, because if I see any nice bumps or anything, I'm just going to ride over them, try and absorb them, and then you can see where I do it and try and copy me. Follow me along. You got a nice position there, kind of nice and braced, ready. I like it. Yeah, maybe all like that. Give us some good bend in the knee happening. We're just going to go underneath that one tree that was a bit precarious to go under, but yeah. Nice and bumpy here though. Think about that movement. So here the bumps are a little bit more ferocious, right? And don't worry about turning in the bumps, don't worry about going too fast, although there is a sweet spot of speed. If you go too slow, it's hard to absorb without getting knocked around a little bit. So as I ride down here, just take note, I'm going to be turning kind of out towards the sides because it tends to be a little bit less rough on the sides. And then I'm just going to focus on working on this absorption as I ride across the hill. Just trying to make it as smooth a ride as possible for anything above my belt line. So you're trying to see my upper body be nice and still, and the result of that again is just those lower limbs working real hard to create that nice smooth ride for my upper body. Any questions?
No.
No? Pretty trenched out through here, to be honest. Definitely pretty harsh for an intro to bumps. So on that note, on the side of the trees to the left and side of the trees to the right, there are exits if you want to get out of the bumpiness. we are just going to meet in the break in the trees. It's like a little bit of a cat track down there, right? So if it is a little bit too bumpy for you, don't feel like you have to turn. If you want to get out to the sides and we can find some easier terrain, that's fine as well. But we'll start here as a happy medium. Let's check no help. Follow us everywhere, don't they? Anyway, here we go.
Can I tell you how much the board is it?
I like that group, it's so peaceful.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, we're just peaceful.
We are calm, aren't we?
Yeah.
Everyone there's like, yeah. Am I going to just follow after?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.